Agreements by Don Luis Miguel as a practical guide to personal freedom and encourage everyone to practice along with us. Number one, be impeccable with your words. Two, don't take anything personally. Third, don't make assumptions. And fourth, always do your best. And tonight, I'm thrilled and proud to let you know that I have done my best to bring you a very special guest whom we can all learn great wisdom in terms of leadership, personal, and spiritual growth. But before I hand you over to him, as our host tonight, please allow me to give you a bit of my background. I'm Kai Hayes, Elite Pro 8 leader out of Austin, Texas, a former corporate executive, an international telecommunications business owner, a certified life coach, a business banker, but now a professional network marketer, a business mentor, motivational speaker, and the author of the book Line at Heart. And why Life Vantage? I'll tell you three things. Number one, I'm 57 and Greg is 60, and we are not taking drug medications. 10 years ago, I canceled my scheduled carpal tunnel surgery right after 30 days of activating my body. And then meanwhile, Greg regained his strength back after his victorious battle with grade 3 brain cancer in December 2014. Second reason is I quit the corporate world and established my retirement income, listen to this, after 4 years. And I grinded another 5 years, and Greg turned his back away from his 6-figure annual income last October 2019. And we both achieved financial in network marketing. And the third reason is that because Greg and I know that what we have in our hands is a breakthrough technology. Guys, we are disrupting the supplement industry through a category creating flagship product called activation. And we are invited to be the first. We are both in 100%. So it's simple. The question is, would you still use a rotary phone versus iPhone? No, right? Would you stick to using typewriter at work versus computer? So with that said, it is a no-brainer to embrace Life Vantage and understand well how network marketing business model allows us to achieve leadership, personal, and spiritual growth. So now it's time to present to you the expert in this arena, Taylor Worre, our Director of New Leader Experience, spearheading our VIP Red Carpet program for all seasoned network marketers globally. My friend, my mentor, and the person I highly respect and admire. Because when you come to know this amazing human being, I tell you now, you will be humbled because you will find zero ego in spite of who he is. It is an honor to have him with us tonight, you guys, for he will share his outstanding knowledge and expertise in the world of network marketing. Well, Taylor spent his entire life surrounded by the network marketing professionals. And from an early age, Taylor saw the incredible potential that this industry offered to the everyday person. For a decade, he worked in and around the network marketing profession, going from a distributor to corporate to event and video production to marketing and promotion of various network marketing companies back into the corporate world. Taylor Worre truly has seen it all. Very much like his father, the famous Eric Worre, he's always heard him saying, network marketing isn't perfect, but it's just a better way. So, growing up surrounded by great leaders like, can you imagine Jim Rohn, Les Brown, John Maxwell, and many others, it is his life's passion, you guys, and mission to bring value in a way possible to those who comes in contact with him. He is a true advocate of our profession. And so tonight, he will tell us his story and share with us the right principles and behaviors building a successful network marketing business model. Ladies and gentlemen, the man of the hour, Taylor Worre. Taylor?
Kai, can you hear me okay?
Yes, perfect.
I will tell you what, I have never had a better introduction in my whole life. And so I just love you so much. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your evenings. I know that you guys have these scheduled, and I'm just honored to be a guest in your worlds this evening. And my hope is with the time we have together that we can truly make a change. Like I said, I don't want to spend a lot of time talking about my life. I've spent my whole life in this space, and all I want to do is give a lot of the nuggets, give a lot of the value that I've been given throughout my life to as many people as I possibly can. I was born in this profession. It's all I've ever known. And you guys will have to apologize. I have a newborn baby right now that is sleeping upstairs. And so I'm in the garage doing my calls too, because I tend to get a little bit loud on these calls. And so this is the only place I can be where I won't wake our 1-month-old. But all that to say, you guys, is I want you to have a change. I want tonight to be different for you than any other call, than any other night, than your whole life. I want this to be real. And so what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to accept a level of transparency. And before we start this call, one thing I want you to think about, because I've noticed, I've spent my whole life, again, in this space. And what I've noticed is understanding network marketing, understanding the compensation plan, understanding the products, understanding how to talk about them is, to talk about them is different, but understanding all of the logistical stuff is about 2% of what's necessary to become successful in network marketing. I know many people that are $1 million earners that couldn't explain their compensation plan to you in detail if they had a gun to their heads. They just couldn't do it. So what I want to tell you and what I want to focus on tonight is the other 98% that I believe it takes to become successful in network marketing, and that is the personal development aspect of this business, which is everything. If I can help you guys get into a better mindset this evening, if I can help you overcome some limiting beliefs, and this is what I want you to think about. Throughout this call, I'm probably going to call a couple people off of mute and chat with you guys a little bit, because I want to have some real dialogue. I want you guys to know that Kai and the other leaders that have partnered here have created a safe space for you. This is a place of transparency. This is a place of safety. This is a place where you can be authentically yourself, and the only way you're going to grow is to be authentically yourself. So what I want you to think about right now, and this is something different, I've been doing it over the last 6 months, it's having a lot of really unbelievable success with people having breakthroughs, is I want you to think right now, everyone on this call, what is your number one limiting belief in your LifeVantage business right now? What is the number one thing that's holding you back from the success that you believe that you are deserving? I see people on this call that have been in this business for a lot of years, and I know you personally have not reached the goals that you have set. What is that excuse? What is that limiting belief? What is that fear that you are dealing with? The number one thing that if I was a genie and I could come into your life and I could remove that one thing, what would it be? And thank you so much for everyone that's wishing congratulations to our little Penelope. She is the light of our life, and we are wildly blessed. I don't want to not acknowledge you, so thank you so much for everyone that said congratulations. But I want you guys to think about that. And then what I want you to do is I want every single person on this call to drop in the chat their number one limiting belief, their number one excuse, their number one fear, the number one thing that's holding them back. I want you to put it in the chat. Take a minute to think about it, because again, I've done these calls for about the last 6 months, you guys, and what we're going to talk about tonight isn't the tips and the tricks, and isn't all the secret success, stuff. It's talking about the real stuff, because I could sit here and tell you what all these leaders did to become a Pro 10 and all this stuff, and you would just go, great, good for them. I'm dealing with stuff over here. They might have dealt with it, but they dealt with it 8 years ago. They didn't deal with it in Corona. They didn't deal with what we're going through right now. And now everyone that's dropped in their stuff, I want you to go into the chat. I'm going to go in there right now. And I want you to start looking at this. Fear of rejection, that I will fail, that I won't follow up and train my people appropriately, that I'm not good enough. Fear of rejection, consistency, rejection, distractions. I want you guys to look at this list, because what I want you to see is how you guys are all so similar. That while so many of you feel alone, so many of you feel like what you're dealing with by yourselves, you are not. That everyone in this boat with you is dealing with the same fears. And so I'm going to look, I want to So I'm going to pick a couple people here because I want to talk to some of you guys tonight. Sylvia Morales, how are you, dear? I haven't seen you in forever. I got to find you. There you are. Take yourself off mute. How are you?
Okay, you got me on the hot seat here.
Yeah, I do. It's so good to see you. I miss giving you a hug at these events, and it's been too long.
Yeah.
But you put in fear of rejection for calling your chicken list.
Yeah.
So why are you afraid of that? You've got a list of people. I know you have a vast network, and I know that you've been a person of value to that network for a long time. What is your hesitation with that?
The hesitation was because in the past I lost everything, and all they remember is my loss.
Yep.
And so it's hard to speak to someone who's successful right now and to try to get them to look at what you have. And it's been building up little by little. And I'm starting to see some successes right now because Kai has been helping me. She's been instructing me, and I said, I got to do it. And I just got to have that posture, no matter what. Fake it till you make it. And that's what I've been doing. And I've been reaching out to presidents and CEOs from former companies that I've worked for, and they were willing to take a look at it. And I've got some really good prospects right now that are ready to move on to the next level.
Okay. So it sounds like you're overcoming that a little bit. So I'm going to ask you again, what's your number one fear right now? Because it sounds like you gave a fear that you're already overcoming. It sounds like you kind of set yourself up to win with this. I need you to go deep, and I'm going to call you out. I'm not going to let you to sneak by with the great answer that you've already solved your limiting belief. It's not going to work with me, sister. So I need you to dig deeper. I need you to really dig in and tell me, what is the thing that's holding you back the most right now?
Talking to a bunch of people on live video.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that what it is? Is that your biggest fear, is kind of putting yourself out there in more of the social media world?
Yeah, it's the rejection, seeing my faults, seeing my failures. Yeah.
Okay. So do you look at LifeVantage as a failure?
No.
So what you're referencing is something in the past.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one thing that I know is that, again, you are a person of value, Sylvia, and you bring value to your network. The one thing that I know that happens in time, and it takes time, but sometimes you get caught in the trap, and I've seen this with you. I know this to be true, and I know a lot of other people on the call are dealing with this exact same thing. But because of your past mistakes, you fall into this defeatist mindset. Even though you're excited in the fake it till you make it and doing all this stuff, the people you're approaching with a defeated energy.
Right.
It's not I'm living my best life right now. It's, hey, I'm kind of coming groveling back to the pit, hoping you guys accept me, back in the swing of things as a success again. I know I'm not there yet, but will you give me a little handout? You're worth so much more than a handout, Sylvia.
Oh, yeah. I still keep reminding myself of the skills. I still got this, and I still have this. I did not lose that. And so I have to keep repeating to myself, I've got a lot to offer, and I know I can do it. I've been getting out little by little, and I started calling my chicken list, and it's working.
Yeah, one of the best scripts you can use with a chicken list that I use a lot, I've given to people a lot to use, I should say, and used a lot, 10, 12, 15 years ago when I was building, was just reaching out, CEO so-and-so. I'm calling you, Sylvia. You're the CEO. I'd say, Sylvia, honestly, me and you have been connected for a long time, and you're a person that I respect and I trust very highly. I've recently started a new, in the last few years, I've started a new business venture. And it's something that I really wanted to take some time to vet out before I brought it to those that I value most in my network. But I'm at a point right now where I'm having a hard time finding any faults in it. And I would really be honored if you would do me a favor. I'm not recruiting you. I'm not asking you to buy a single thing, but I'd be honored if you would give me 30 minutes of your time to give me your feedback on this opportunity for me, to see if it's something good for me. Would you give me time to sit in on a call or watch a quick video, learn a little bit more about this, and give me your feedback as someone that I respect and someone that I trust? You come at it with that, it's really hard for them to say no. You're just basically asking, you're patting their ego, which anyone in that seat kind of enjoys a little bit. And at the same time, you're softly opening the door to LifeVantage to a way that they're going to look at it and go, and just, say, that was great. Can I get some more information? Yeah. Well, whoa, I was, you liked it that much? I was just asking for your feedback. If you want more information, act shocked by that. It's not like the biggest problem most network marketers have is that everyone they talk to, they have an ulterior motive with. You need to be able to release the ulterior motive in every interaction in your life. So many people think like, I'm just going to go out and I'm just going to network, but they're networking with LifeVantage in mind, and they're wanting to like put the cart before the horse. It's like, I want to be able to bring this person value I just met at Starbucks, but they don't even know my last name. I don't even know their last name. It's finding ways to bring value to people. And one thing I always say, whether it's on social media or in face-to-face, is never allow LifeVantage to be the first piece of value that you bring to somebody. It's so simple in today's day and age, in 30 seconds, to bring value to someone's life without any ulterior motive. I could go to anyone on this call's Facebook page right now instantly, and in 30 seconds, I could find out what you're passionate about, and I could find a way to bring value to your life, whether it's a video or a link or something. Hey, I saw that you love dogs. Have you seen this video? Oh my gosh, it's one of the best videos I've ever seen. Just little things that you can do to start interactions with people. But Sylvia, I know that you're already doing great things. I want you to start expanding more. I want you to take this. I know you're taking it serious, but I want you to take it serious in the sense of, will you do me a favor and really do this for real? Take a picture and post it on Facebook for real.
Okay.
Tonight, when this call is done, I want you to take that beautiful lipstick you have on right now, and I want you to take the lipstick that you have. I want you to go to your bathroom mirror, and with that lipstick, I want you to write on the mirror, I am enough.
Okay.
And I want, and anyone else that wants to do this, I started an I Am Enough challenge in Sean and Michelle Poe's group, and it went off like wildfire. You guys, what I need you to understand is so many people walk through this life not feeling like they're enough, that they're lacking, that they're without, that they don't have what it takes to get to the next level, that if they watch some magical course or go to some magical training, the reality is it's all in here. But so many of us aren't willing to look in here. We want to look externally for all the answers. The answers are just be a good person to everyone around you. Exude positivity, exude love, and you will get that in return. But Sylvia, I really appreciate you so much sharing, and I just hope that you just get some value out of the rest of this call. Thank you so much for popping off mute.
Thank you. Thank you.
Consistency and time. And there was one that I wanted to see. Duran, where are you at, brother? There was something about not going to lead on here. Where's Robert Duran in? Where are you at, brother?
I'm right here.
I know. I just got to find you and these million people on here. I want to look at you face to face. So, Robert, tell me about your limiting belief.
Limiting belief is, I have a lot of confidence and I've been recruiting some really cool people. I guess it's just, and I guess in my mind is like, we pursue something so much that I guess there is a slight fear saying, well, if I make it, how do I accept that?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. I can't explain it too well, but I've never been, in my family, I've never had anyone successful, and you guys are the closest ones that I've seen successful before. So to me, this is different. This is something non-existent in just what I've been brought up with.
I completely hear you. I'll tell you what, brother, fear of success is one of the top 6 fears felt by just about every single network marketer on this planet.
Really?
And so know that you are not alone, and also know that I am excited, and I've been talking to the field development team. I know that you're bringing some good people on, and I know that you're doing some good stuff in your organization. What I want to tell you is, going forward for you, one of the biggest things that you can focus on is setting boundaries within your organization, healthy boundaries, and creating a solid time management structure. Because as your team grows, this is a problem faced by just about every network marketer. As your team grows, you are faced with a decision. You come to a fork in the road. And that decision either says, are you going to be the answer of all questions, or are you going to create a duplicatable organization? 90% of people the first time around choose, I'm going to be the answer of all questions. I would assume that most of you guys in the beginning would fall into that category. I'm sure you learned very quickly that that's not a very duplicatable strategy, and that you end up on a hamster wheel that never ends. But what I want you guys to think about is setting some clear boundaries with those that you talk to. I'm going to go off on a tangent for just a minute, but I was talking with a leader the other day, and one of the biggest things that goal setting with new prospects, I think that most people do their new prospects one of the biggest disservices in the entire world when they sit down with them for the first time and they set goals. If I was sitting down with you, Robert, and I said, look, when you said, Taylor, what's your goal? And I said, my goal is to go Pro 7 Elite. What would you say?
I would say we would have to get you to Pro 3 first.
Yes. Strong answer. Strong answer. Because what the reality of the situation is talking to a new leader that comes at you, or a new prospect or a new distributor coming at you with excitement. The biggest thing that we can do going forward is to set proper expectations. A duplicatable organization only happens when expectations are set properly. Sitting down with a new person that says, I want to go Pro 7 and I'm fired up, we're going to blow this thing out of the water, it's going to be amazing. It's really important to say, hey, it's really good. I love your excitement. I love your enthusiasm, but it's important that you know that at LifeVantage, on average, for the leaders that get to the rank of Pro 7, it takes them on average 2 years to do it. So understand that that's a great goal. It's like Robert said, it's a great stretch goal, but let's set some micro goals, some goals that we can knock out in the next 30 days, goals that we can knock out in the next 60 days, goals that we can knock out in the next 3 to 6 months. Because the last thing I want to do is set you up in a position to fail. The last thing I want to do is get you overly hyped for a rank that only 5% of all distributors hit. We need to set those proper expectations with our new people, because I promise you that if you do, the hungry ones will stay hungry. Another thing I want to talk about is meeting people at their goals. One thing I see a lot is people will sponsor, I'll sponsor Robert. Robert comes into the business, I'm sponsoring Robert. And Robert says, look, my goal is just to be able to make $500 to $1,000 a month. That's where I'm looking to get. If I can get there, that's gold for me. That's life-changing for me. And then you work with that leader and get them to that $500,000 a month, or $500 to $1,000 a month. Most people say, all right, you got there. Now let's get you to Pro 5. Let's get you up Pro 5 Summit. Because most leaders see, again, the ulterior motive. They see their organization growing. They see someone actually doing it. Someone's actually building in their team, and they've got to continue to push that hot hand. The biggest way that you can push people out of your organization is to expand their goals for them. Allow people to expand their goals on their own terms. Allow people to come to you and say, you know what? I've been making like $750 for the last 3 months. I've got a handful of people I could introduce this to, and it could possibly go a little bit bigger. Could you help me do it? Of course I can. Of course I'm here to support you. But when you're the one constantly harping on every one of your leaders, when you're the one that's constantly going at every one of them, going, hey, when are you going to get there? When are you going to get there? When's it going to happen? How can I push you? Can I do any three-way calls for you? They're sitting on the other end going, no, I'm good. They feel like crap. And what they're really thinking is, why aren't you doing any calls? You're barking at me 5 times a day to do all my calls. Where are your calls? It's because, again, in that fork in the road, people either choose to be duplicatable or they choose that Messiah complex. And the Messiah complex, you guys, can happen at the rank of Pro 3. You don't need to have 100,000 points of organizational volume to get that Messiah complex. You can have 2 people underneath you that can suck up 30 hours of your time every single week, calling you with every question. Hey, I've got a customer. What should I tell them? Hey, I'm looking for an article. What should I send them? Hey, I'm looking for a good video. I got someone interested in Axio. What should I give them? You are the answer for every question. If this sounds familiar to you at all, it's very simple to change and set some boundaries. But Robert, the biggest thing for you, brother, to go into this is as you're creating this, number one, I already said it to Sylvia, but same thing for you, man. You are enough. I know that you come from, I mean, we've spent some time together at events. I've hung out with you before. You're a person of value, man. The reality is you are enough. And while your family might not have come from this wild success and all that stuff, there can be a pivotal moment of change where every generation from you going forward will feel what success feels like because you decided to be different. And I know that's what you're doing right now. And I know it feels a little scary. I know it feels a little weird to step out of kind of the norm of what your family might have looked like for most of your life. And it might be fearful because all of a sudden, for the first time in your life, you've got some people that it feels like are reliant upon you, that are dependent upon you. But again, that goes back to expectations. It really goes back to letting everyone know when they get involved that I am here to support you. I'm here to lock arms with you. I will run just as fast as you run, but I am never going to run faster than you when it comes to support. One thing I promise to every red carpet leader that I work with is exactly that. I will lock arms, run. You will never be able to outrun me when it comes to support, but I will never take one step ahead of you. So if you guys can find a way to get into that mentality of setting those boundaries with your team, because we're an 11-year-old company, you guys, we've got all the resources anyone could ask for. We've got hundreds of hours of video. We've got all the published medical studies you could ask for. We've got every person, an elite trainer that you could reach out to that is accessible just to say, hey, how's it going? Can I pick your brain for 5 minutes? It's all there. It's just time to tap into it. And so, Robert, man, I appreciate you sharing. And more than anything, I just want to see in the next 3 months for you to be able to create some structure, to create some serious time management. Whatever you're doing, make sure that 30% of your time is spent fostering your organization, with the other 60% of your time adding to that organization. Don't let those numbers get flip-flopped. When the numbers get flip-flopped, you become a messiah. When you feel like you're spending way more time, coaching and mentoring and doing all that stuff with your team than you are recruiting, you've fallen into the wrong category. But when you're sitting there and you're like, one thing I recommend, and this might be for a little bit higher level leader, Robert, once you get to, an elite rank, and I know you're on your way there, but once you get there, keep this in mind. One thing I suggest to a lot of leaders and for other people on the call is if you went to college, if you remember in college, your professors had something called professor's hours. And the professor's hours were Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from noon to 3 o'clock. And you could stop in, you could block out 30 minutes, 30 minutes with them throughout those times, but that's when they were available every week. Yes, emergencies, you could reach out to them. But if it was just talking, mentorship, personal development, coaching, whatever it is, those are the hours in which they're open. I would invite you guys to adopt the similar mentality with your teams. Just say, if there is a fire, yes, call me and I'll put it out. I'm here to stop any fires. But if we're just needing to talk and catch up, these are going to be my hours because I have a family and I'm building a business. I'm not building your business. I'm building my business. You're building your business. And so we really got to keep that in mind. We really got to keep that in mind. Fear of rejection, I've seen a million times on here, so I'm going to just address it. Everyone fears rejection. This is the number one thing I can tell you to do. You want a really fun challenge that's going to mess you up? Here's the best challenge I can give you for everyone out there that put fear of rejection. Your goal in the next 90 days, starting today, is to get 100 people to say no to LifeVantage opportunity. That's your goal. Go to work. 100 people to say no. The only caveat is they have to look at the full opportunity presentation. Get comfortable with no. You want a really great analogy to do with your prospects? Take out a deck of cards. Write this down. This is an amazing analogy. Write this down. Take out a deck of cards. With that deck of cards, write this down. Aces are business builders. Kings and queens are customers. Jacks and jokers are hecklers. And 2 through 10s are no's. You can do this exercise with every single new person you bring on to help set realistic expectations for what this looks like. You can shuffle that deck 1,000 times. I don't care. Flip over the first card. First card's a 7. You're talking to your new prospect. Is it realistic to go out and talk to one person and get your first time? Yes. Flip it over again. It's a 10. Is it realistic to talk to 2 people and have 2 people say no, they're not interested in your business? Yes. Flip it over again. A 3. Is it realistic to talk to 3 people and get 3 people to say no in a row to my opportunity? Do I have to be willing to overcome that objection? Do I have to be willing to accept that that's a reality? Yes, I do. Because the reality is if you keep flipping, eventually, it's the law of averages, the law of numbers, you are going to get an ace. You are going to get a business builder. You are going to get a customer. And what I tell everybody is out of 52 cards, out of 52 people, would it be worth it to walk away with 8 customers and 4 business builders? Now, those numbers might be skewed slightly, but if they are on the less side, it just means you need to work on your pitch. But again, the 100 no challenge. You want to know how you do it? Say, Kai Hayes, I know you've been blowing me off for forever, but I'm doing this challenge right now. I know you could care less about network marketing, but I need 100 people in the next 90 days to say no to my opportunity. The only rule is they have to look at the full opportunity. Would you take a look at this and be one of my no's? Because everyone I keep showing this to keeps saying yes. I need a no. Would you be one of my no's, please? It will mess people up. You're going to have a really hard time getting 100 people to say no. But I need you guys to shake that up a little bit because there's a catch. You guys want to know the number one? There's only one catch to network marketing. You want to know what it is? There's only one. I'll say it a couple times so you can write it down if you want to, but there's only one catch. My whole life, it's never changed. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss. Keyword temporary. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. There are going to be people out there that are not going to understand what it is that we do. There are going to be people out there that are going to talk poorly about network marketing because they have a lack of understanding for it. There are going to be people that are just not entrepreneurial minded, that need the structure of a corporate office in order to survive. You have to be willing to accept that lack of social esteem. It is temporary, but you must be willing to accept it. The people that don't accept that lack of social esteem get burnt out. They can't handle it. They just go, oh my gosh, I'm done. I can't handle it. I talked to 5 people. They told me how stupid I am. I can't do this. Could I have a bigger water bottle, do you think? I don't know. All I'm going to tell you guys when it comes to, again, last thing I'll say when it comes to fear of rejection, when walking into a phase of momentum, which I believe LifeVantage is right now, I believe that for the first time in the last few years, while we have had unbelievable, 2 years ago, I joined the company 3 years ago. 2 years ago, LifeVantage has the biggest growth here in company history. Last year, we had the second biggest growth here in company history. This year, we're entering into an unbelievably set up year to have some pretty incredible revenue growth, some pretty amazing momentum. But what I tell every single person that I talk to is that unfortunately, this wave of momentum that is heading for us right now, if you knew what I knew, you wouldn't sleep for a couple of days, and that's genuine. That's not BS, and that's not blowing anything up. You know, that's just genuine excitement. That's genuine real life excitement. The wave of momentum is not reserved for everybody. I wish that it was, but it's not. The wave of momentum that's coming for LifeVantage is reserved for those that are willing to accept a season of discomfort in their lives. For those that are willing to accept that, pardon my language, but damn it, 2016 felt really similar to 2017 when it came to my life and how I looked at life and my goals and my success. And then, man, 2017 felt really similar to 2018. 2018 to 2019, man, I said I was going to do all this stuff in New Year's, didn't get to it yet. But then in 2019, when the ball dropped into 2020, I made a commitment. But then, wouldn't you know it, Corona came. Still haven't gotten to those yet. Jim Rohn would say it. Every personal development guru would say it. I'm just saying it to you face to face right now. If you want things to change, you have to be willing to change. You have to be willing, and it's not for forever. This season of discomfort is not permanent, but it is necessary. I don't care if you are 75 or 25 years old. I have spent my life surrounded by those that have made it to the top of this mountain. Those that literally are sitting on $1 million incomes. Guess what? Because they did not care about the income. They fell in love the first time that someone came up to them. Paulette, I know that this is going to be, I'm looking at you right now, Paulette. This is going to be a moment for you where you are going to become the rock in the river. When you have a dozen people that walk up to you at an event that you don't even know, you've never met them before, but they come find you. They say, Paulette, you don't know us, but so-and-so recruited us and so-and-so recruited them and you recruited so-and-so. And we just had to come and get a picture with you and say, because of your courage, because you reached out, we talked to them. We know that you were scared to make that phone call. We know that you were about to give up on LifeVantage. We know that things were hard and that you were in the dumps and you didn't feel like you were enough. But we also know that you picked up the phone and made the phone call. And because of that, they got XYZ involved and they got us involved. And our life has forever been changed because of your courage. Those are the moments that I want for everyone on this call, because I promise you, those are the moments that will become more addicting than any paycheck you will ever receive in your entire life. I've been surrounded by money my whole life, you guys. Let me tell you, it only makes good people better and bad people worse. It's not going to turn some bad person into an angel overnight. All it does is allow you to bless more people. You look at our Pro 9s and Pro 10s, they're some of the biggest servant leaders I've ever met in my life. I'm excited. I'm excited because if you guys can get this one piece, Tony Robbins gave me the best advice I've ever been given in my entire life. I was sitting with Tony backstage in an event and I asked him straight up, some of you might have heard me say this before because it's the most profound piece of information I've ever been given in my life that literally changed my life for the rest of my life 3.5 years ago. This one quote changed me for the rest of my life. And I tell you this with emphatic clarity that I have been able to manifest every single thing that I could have ever desired into my life over the last 3.5 years has come to fruition because, and I truly believe it is because of this one quote. I said, Tony, what is the number one thing that you could tell me that could not only change my life, but could change the lives of everyone that I came in contact with for the rest of my life? And he thought about it for a while. And when he came back, he said, Taylor, honestly, he said, if you can find a way to trade your expectations for appreciation, your entire life will change overnight. He said, Taylor, what most people don't realize is that 99% of this planet lives about 99% of their existence built in expectation. And what a falsity when 99% of expectations are never met in reality. He said, if you can find a way, it is like a muscle and it will take time. And when I tell you this, it took me a year of applicable everyday practice in my life to relinquish and let go of every single expectation that I had and replace it with something to be appreciative for. I have been able to walk through this life stronger, more steadfast, more passionate, and more happy than ever before in my entire life. What you don't realize is if you start to think about your day right now, think about when you woke up this morning. Think about your whole day today and think about how many times you found yourself expecting something. Whether it was you expected your wife to come and give you a hug, or you expected the kids to clean up after themselves, or you expected someone at your job to do what they said they were going to do, or you expected, you know what? Jim Rohn would always say this. There's a reason why Jim Rohn was never hated by a single human being, and you alive to this day cannot find a single person that disliked him. You can't. Jim Rohn would never entertain negative conversation, ever. He would always say, misery loves company for a reason is a saying for a reason. Because when you say, don't you hate it when, if you find yourself saying that a lot, don't you hate it when this happens? Don't you hate it when this? You're basically inviting negativity into someone else's life. Jim Rohn would always turn it around and say, isn't that interesting? It became the crux of just about everything that he ever did. He would say, yeah, you invite 50 people to show up to your meeting. All 50 say they're going to be there confirmed day of. You're excited. You show up, set the whole room up. Not a single person shows up. Isn't that interesting? You're heading home. You got a big appointment. It's all lined up. And all of a sudden there's a giant accident on the road. Isn't that interesting? I want you guys to have a change in mindset this evening. I want you to get out of the mindset of platinum packs and fast start bonuses and all this comp plan information that you've been riddled with. And I want you just to get back to loving. Being so in love with LifeVantage that it just comes out of you, not in a prospecting way, but in an excitement way. What you guys need to know is you don't need to convince anyone to be a part of LifeVantage. We are validated. We are clinically proven via patents, via 30 published medical studies on PubMed.gov. These products speak for themselves. They don't need you speaking for them. They need you building the relationships and making the introductions. Let the products speak for themselves. Let the data, let the experts that have come before you, third-party validation. I want you guys to know that I'm in your corner, and that if there's ever anything that I can do to be a resource to you, I'm on this call right now because Kai reached out to me and asked me to be. It's as simple as that. I don't care if it was Joshua or Paulette or Sylvia or Hannah. If you guys reached out to me, if you need something from me, if there's something I can do to be valuable in your life, please don't hesitate to reach out. My email is very simple, tworre@lifevantage.com. Very, very simple. I'm here to be there for you guys. If when it comes to building your business, you have uplines for that. If you have a personal development breakthrough barrier or a barrier that you're trying to break through, reach out to me. I mean, if you would like, you have unbelievable elite leadership throughout every one of these groups that is represented on this call right now. You have unbelievable mentorship. But I also know that sometimes those mentors become really close friends. And the closer the friends become, the less you feel likely to share some of your fears and only your excitements. So I want you guys to feel okay with sharing your fears with me, if you would like to. And I want to thank Kai and all the other leaders that put this call together. I want you guys to know I believe in you. And I know that if you start now, what you do between October, November, and December. If you wait till January 1 to kick off this new year and make it special, you're going to be too late. It's going to be those that start now. When I went back to that momentum is coming, it's not reserved for everyone. I always define momentum as if you can imagine a surfer out in the ocean. Imagine someone laying out on a surfboard, a professional surfer. You've seen people surf. You don't even need to surf to understand this analogy. But anyone that's seen a surfer in the water before knows that it is physically impossible to stand up on a wave and ride your surfboard to shore if you start paddling when the wave is already on top of you. Anyone that's watched a successful surfer before knows that they do one very important thing right before that wave gets there, and that is paddling with all out and massive action so that they have the inertia, they have the movement, they have the ability to stand up on that wave when it gets there. It doesn't knock them over. They get up and they ride it to shore. And that's what I want for every one of you guys tonight. And I hope that tomorrow you wake up with this newfound sense of passion. I hope you go write "I am enough" on your mirror and you choose to say it every morning and every night out loud. I hope you choose to pour into personal development, and I hope you choose to start loving with all that you've got with everyone you come in contact with. And again, Kai, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you guys hanging in. I know it was a little bit longer than usual, but God bless every one of you, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you at a live event sometime very soon.
Oh my goodness. Tay, it's an honor. It's never a long meeting with you. Wow. I am speechless, you guys. And in fact, I have been exchanging messages with my elite partners here on text, and we were totally blown away. These are the golden words that we all need to hear, you guys. No BS, just straightforward wisdom on understanding what network marketing industry is all about. And also hearing about the leadership, personal growth, and including spiritual growth. This is a total eye-opener for me and for everyone. We were just trained by a 33-year-old who has a wisdom of a senior citizen. Can you believe that? He is a sum of various great leaders' mind combined in one person, Taylor Worre. Take it to heart, you guys. Put it in action. He discussed with us all the full details of what we need to do. He laid down the basic principles and behaviors to flourish, how to flourish in network marketing. So simple. Let's follow it. Brilliant. It is so brilliant, you guys. And I told you, zero ego, right? Just the truth. We have just been blessed tonight. And so I would like to thank you and have a wonderful evening. We hope that we were able to give you the best of the best training that you all need to hear right now. And in behalf of my other elite leaders, thank you, Vandy, thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Dr. Jean DeLucia, and all of you, because you guys are so valuable to us. Without you, we're not here. And Tay, you are amazing. You are wonderful. I love you, and thank you again for your time. This is precious. God bless. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks so much, Taylor. Congrats
Thank
on the
you
baby.
so
My
much.
pleasure.